Well, good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal. On a crisp Tuesday morning, it is 3 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which would make it 38 degrees in American. Chilly, and I'm wearing my raincoat, not my warm coat. Don't ask me why. But it is chilly. It actually is chillier out than it looked, because when I sort of looked out of my window, the sun was shining. And what is it about me that I didn't realize if the sun is shining in winter, it means it's cold? I mean, you'd think I'd know that by now. Okay, never mind. And now I've moved from sunshine into fog. Oh, it's going to be a fun day. Alright, so what is our topic for today? I used a word the other day that I want to use as our word of the day for today, which is awfulizing, when we make things more awful than they already are. And the reason for that is because I had as you probably all know, I get quite a few emails that come to me and comments that come to me on a whole slew of different subjects, a myriad of subjects that come to me every day. And I had this really nice one recently. So this delightful young lady wrote to me. I need to say that she's of Asian heritage because it's important in this issue. It's important because of the work ethic that comes in an Asian family. And, you know, it's very, very different in a lot of ways from the average North American family. You know, if in an Asian family, if you've been given the opportunity to do well, you know, to go to a good school, you know, you better work your heart out and do well. And the same, funny enough, would be true of African families. You know, if they've saved, the whole family saved up to send one person, you know, to North America to study, then that person better do well. It's a huge, huge responsibility. Anyway, so the important thing here is that she wrote to me, and her heart was breaking in so many pieces. Not because she'd fallen in love, but rather because she had worked so hard to do well. And she was about to go into a discipline of medicine. In fact, she was about to go into dentistry. Her concern was that she had worked so hard through school, through college. Here she was, about to go into her studying of becoming a dentist. And she had no life. Basically, that's what she was saying to me. And she had no life experience, she had no life. All the people around her were busy falling in love and getting married and having children, and here she was at this age, and she had no life experience. And basically she was trying to decide whether to throw it all up and go for life, unquote, or to continue her studies. Wow, that broke my heart. But I understood what she was getting at, and I'm sure a lot of you will want to support her on this. And I really encouraged her to come and join in if she could on some of the broadcasts where hopefully we can, you know, talk a little bit more and work one-on-one and get a support group growing for her. Because if you're smart enough to have got this far and dedicated enough, and she did say, by the way, that it was her lifelong dream to become a dentist. I mean, she'd followed this dream this far. I mean, really, to give it up now would be so sad. You know, basically the worst is over in so many ways. I'm not suggesting that the next bit's going to be easy, not at all. But, you know, you've done so many years of study to get this far. And so what I was explaining to her was that what was happening to her was she was awfulizing. Basically saying that if she carried on and became a dentist, she would never be married, she would never have children, she would just be a dentist. And so, and she had no skills of people, in her view. So I said to her, well, having skills of people was a very important part of being a dentist, and it was really important that she take some time out of her studying to go and study people, and maybe interview people about what it was about dentists that scared them stupid, and to take it as a bit of research, and to interview all walks of life and at all age groups, because she could find the common denominators in that, she would actually make an incredible dentist. And I told a story about my particular dentist who within recent years decided he was going to semi-retire, and he brought on a very talented dentist to replace him. Very talented, skilled, family man, really top of his game, everything else. The only problem was, it was really weird that the patients didn't like him. And the patients didn't like him because the person he was going to supposedly replace was the most incredible people person as a dentist. I mean, you never felt you were wasting his time with your stupid questions. You never felt like a wuss if you were terrified. He was so kind, and is so kind and gentle and considerate that, it made all the difference. And I was explaining to her that to be a people person and a dentist at the same time, if you can get that magic combination, that's a wonderful thing. And so I encouraged her not to awfulize this life of hers, and instead to realize that she could start this process of getting to know about people and getting to understand people, and while she was studying. And she could take it as her break away, if you like. And yet it would still be working towards what she wanted. Well, it was pretty amazing because she wrote back to me and thanked me so much for giving her a new direction in terms of how she'd been feeling. And I guess what I'd have to say is sometimes these little things surprise me. I seem to so often just say something quite small, and it has quite an impact on people, and I am very touched by that. Because I can assure you there are times when I'm writing and I think I have no idea how I'm going to help this person, but I just have to pray that I get given the right words, and really that's basically what I do. So I wondered whether any of you have ever awfulized stuff in your life. Did you ever get to the point where you thought, gosh, the whole world is going to come crashing down now. There is no hope, sort of thing. And the reason I say that is because I can remember it happening with, you all know I've been having this sewer system problem for months now. And I can remember a number of times thinking, I know what's going to happen. We're going to have to dig up the whole thing, and it's going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's just how your mind thinks, and it's never going to get fixed. And basically, I've got a money pit instead of an investment. And I wonder if any of you can relate to that. And I'm saying that hoping against all hope that What the plumbers did yesterday will fix the problem. Has fixed the problem, let's put it that way. By the way, for just an update on that one, for those who wanted to know, it turned out the problem literally in my sewer pipe was that a 1-inch solid piece of rebar, that's that very strong iron that they put into concrete to keep it strong, 1 inch, if you can imagine it, thick inside. The internal size of this sewer pipe was 4 inches, and 1 inch of it going right across. You work out how much space it was taking up. It was stuck through it, had broken through the pipe. We don't have any idea how it got there. All we know, it was there and acting, if you like a giant towel rail. And it was just getting worse and worse. And so what they had to do was go inside the pipe and cut this piece of rebar from the inside in 2 places. And let's hope that that solves the problem. I certainly hope so. Very scary. Anyway, so to go back to awfulizing, I believe that we've all awfulized at some point in our lives. And we've all scared ourselves stupid. I think that's really the whole benchmark of this. What have you said to yourself where you scared yourself stupid? It wasn't bad enough that it was difficult. You just managed to go ahead and make it even worse on yourself. So if any of you got any, quick anecdotes and stories on that one, please share them, because I know that there is at least one viewer that needs to know she's not the only one that did this to herself. And for those of you who understand what she's talking about in terms of working non-stop at the exclusion of a regular life, I'm certain there are plenty of you out there that have done that. And I would really like those of you who did it but managed to end up with a happy relationship to let her know that this is possible to do. Because it really is scary, isn't it? And I think what triggers us so much is the fear that we might never have a normal life. And I am certain there are a lot of you that have this mindset. At the very beginning, I mentioned the fact that this young lady who had written to me was Asian, and the reason I mentioned that was because I can remember time and time again hearing, and I'm really sorry to discuss this, but I have to. I can remember hearing time and time again from Caucasian students at university, oh, it's not fair, all these Asian people are taking over all the top places in the class. I just burst out laughing. I said, yep. And they said, do you know why? And they went, well, they get better marks. And do you know why? Because while you're out partying and doing X, Y, and Z, their dedication is to be studying. They consider going to university a great honor in the family, and they cannot afford to waste it. So now I would say that today that might be true of a lot of people and a lot of cultures. But what I'm really trying to get at is that so many times people want to blame somebody's ethnicity for why they're doing well, and I'm going, no, it has to do with their work ethic. And I'm sorry, I get really, really quite upset when people do this. And it's just like, you know, if you really study hard and do what you need to do to be able to understand what you're being taught, you will do better. Now, do I think that some people take it in much more easily than others? Absolutely. Absolutely. And is that fair? No. I think those people who have photographic memories, and I know a lot of people who do, you know, who can just read a book and basically recall everything that was in the book and almost tell you what page it was on. I mean, that's pretty scary stuff, isn't it? Yeah, well, it was on the left-hand page of page 236, and you're going, wow. Wouldn't you love to be able to study like that? But my experience of life is that those people don't necessarily have the same skills on other sides, because purely what that is that is a gift. And the gift is for remembering stuff. Now, I personally love to have a couple of those people in my life, if possible. Because, and I do, Yvonne has incredible recall of dates and times and stuff like that. And you know, if anybody ever asks me anything about when did this happen, I said, just hold on a second, let me make a quick call. And I'll just go, Yvonne, when did this happen in my life? And she goes, oh, you know, she will almost go on Thursday, you know, January the 23rd at, you know, this time in 1999. Really? And if you track it back, she's right. Don't know how she does it. I'm just glad she does, and I'm glad that I know her and that I can phone her, because as I get older and forget more, it's a very valuable thing to have happen. So I encourage you not to awfulize in your life. And I guess the question is, how do you stop doing that? You have to go back to this thing of reprogramming. You know, we've done this before, where you need to reframe what you're thinking. So you go, oh my gosh, that's it, I'm never going to fall in love. You go, wait a minute, that isn't totally true, is it? I'm about to go to dentistry school. How many guys are going to be there? The chances are I might just trip over one. I'm never going to get married and have children. Well, you're definitely not going to get married as young as you might have liked, but you wanted to be a dentist. That takes dedication, and you are so smart to get that behind you before you have children. To get the qualification, because then you've got the rest of your life to have children. I think that is smart. Myself. I don't think that's stupid. I think that's incredibly smart. Because trying to study and look after children would take longer. It's not that it's not possible. I think it would take longer because of all the distraction. But I think I would also like to talk about the fact that the way to stop yourself awfulizing is to talk about stuff. because I think what happens is when you are alone a lot in your thinking, you don't get that balance. You don't get somebody saying to you, whoa, 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 hang on a second, that's not totally true. And so I really encourage you, if you're doing that to yourself, to chat to more worldly people. And I say more worldly people because maybe everybody in your circle of friends is doing the same thing, and therefore their knowledge is the same as yours. But I always think that every young person should have, or younger person should have, an older person in their lives that they can tell the truth to. You know, that they are scared, that they do have fear, that they are not sure what to do. And because those of us who've lived a lifetime... Seriously? I got somebody who doesn't know where they're going in front of me. Those of us who've lived a lifetime, or are in the process of it, the back end of it, have been through this time and time again. And we know it's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit of fear that we need to cope with. All right, everybody, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Do what you can not to awfulize your life. If you haven't subscribed, please check below and do so. And for those of you who like to follow on Facebook, that's where we let you know about all the different broadcasts that we're doing. And for those of you who want to follow, oh, by the way, Facebook's just DearMamaSal, as it is on Pinterest. On Instagram, it's different. Somebody took their name. So on Instagram, if you're following there, it's the real DearMamaSal, in all one word on Instagram. So, big hug to you all. Hope you have a wonderful day. Do not scare yourself stupid anymore. It's not worth it. Take one day at a time and keep heading towards your goals. This is DearMamaSal saying bye-bye for now.